So for some reason, when I first started learning about saving money, my only thought was always just on, for example, like, hey, I have to cut things out in order to save money. That was my only thought. I never thought about actually buying things in order to save me money long term, which by the way, makes perfect sense. So in this video right here, I'm going to share with you guys 5 things you can buy for less than $500 to save you $35,000 or even more. Now, you guys know, right? I'm a pretty cheap guy. So a lot of these things that I say $500 and below, they're like less than $100, less than $30 and so on. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to spend over $500. By the way, if you don't believe me that buying something can save you money, think about it for a second. If you have, for example, a car and you borrowed that car, basically you bought it on a loan. The idea is you can be spending $500 to $700 every single month on that loan. But if you grab that car, you sell it, put some money, with that money, you pay off the car note, you're basically debt-free on that car, right? And you go ahead and you buy, for example, a $2,000 used Corolla from like the early 2000s. Well, now you have a paid off car and you no longer have to worry about a $500 to $700 bill every single month. So literally in 2-3 months, you get all your money back. That is the idea. So sometimes you can legitimately buy something to save a lot of money. However, there are a lot of idiots out there. People that say, for example, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend $35,000, for example, on solar panels to save $100 per month on my bill. Okay, that doesn't make sense mathematically. Or I'm going to buy a $50,000 to $80,000 vehicle to save money on gas. When you spend like $100 to $200 every single month on gas. Those ideas, which mean I spend a lot of money up front, once you run the math, like they actually don't make any sense whatsoever. So these ideas, they're gonna save you money right away. They actually make sense, and they probably actually help increase your quality of life. That's the goal for this video, okay, guys? Now, as always, guys, like this video on top. Also, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. Only about 20% of you guys are subscribed, so 80% of you guys that watch these videos aren't subscribed. So subscribe, it's free, and it helps the channel out a ton. Now, number 1 is going to be buying a coffee machine. Now, I don't mean go to Walmart, get a $35 coffee machine. No, you can actually buy an espresso machine for $100 or even $200 on Amazon to make cappuccinos, mochachinos, whatever you actually want to do. Now, I ran the numbers here. I was like, yo, does this actually make sense? Does this actually save you money? And the answer is, it does, okay? So, you know, when I was actually going to Starbucks, I lasted about 2 weeks, okay? My whole idea was every time I go to work, and I'm finished with work, I'm gonna go to Starbucks as a reward. You know, 2 weeks in, I realized every visit was like $10, $15. Like, I just could not do it anymore, okay? My conscience would not allow me. So I said, if I'm gonna be spending like, for example, like $30, $40 a week on Starbucks, why don't I just buy, for example, an expensive cappuccino machine or espresso machine, whatever you wanna call it, and basically get Starbucks quality coffee, because a lot of stuff is like in the grain, but it's also in the machine and the way they actually do the coffee. So you think about it, if you're spending $30 a week on Starbucks, okay, how long does it take you to actually make back, for example, $200? The answer is going to be like around six weeks or so, okay? That's like 2 months, all right? So in reality, in 2 months, you get all your money back. And you can also buy the beans you actually want over at Walmart. By the way, you got to be very careful here when you go into, for example, quality is quality. But there is another section, okay? You have quality and then you have brand made stuff. Once you get into brand made, where you talk about, for example, I'm gonna buy coffee beans for like $50, okay? That's just stupid, all right? Don't do that, because you get the same quality from Colombia, from Ecuador, from the Arab people, and you get the same good quality, but you pay, for example, a premium, but it's not like $50 premium, okay? That's just ridiculous, all right? Now, that's the idea. Now, by the way, a lot of these coffee machines, they're a little bit more intricate, but they usually have a warranty up to 1 year. And in 1 year, you've made your money back and some. So that's the whole idea. Usually, they'll last you a lot longer than a year, maybe 5, maybe 7 years or so. But the idea is, even if they don't last you that year, you have to basically return it, or you basically take it for 1 year and 1 day. Now you're out of your $200. You still get to save a bunch of money. That is the idea. So buying a quality machine that's expensive in a sense, you get your money back if you no longer have to keep going to Starbucks to actually make your regular cappuccino that you actually love and enjoy. Quality of life increased, but your pockets also increased. So how much money could this actually save save you by making your own coffee at home, quality coffee? The answer is, if you're no longer spending 20 bucks a week, if you invest it into an index fund for over 20 years, I can easily get you somewhere around $58,412 over 20 years. Now, that doesn't sound like, oh my gosh, 20 years, 60K, not that much. The answer is, in 20 years, when you're like 60 years old, you are not going to regret having an extra 60K in your pocket. That's the way I think about it. Now, number 2 is going to be a Fire Stick TV Max. All right, so they have the 4K, and you also have, for example, the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. Now, what are these little sticks things? Okay, now I've had a lot of Fire Sticks in the past, and some of them are actually very slow. So in this case, I would actually upgrade to the $55 one, which is the Max, the 4K Max. And you also have the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. I don't like Roku that much, honestly. I like the Fire Stick a lot more. They sell it on Amazon. But overall, this doesn't just save you money, for example, on an expensive TV that's a smart TV, because it turns any TV with an HDMI into a smart TV. And it also saves you money on cable. The average cable bill is around $88. And by the way, if you can get, for example, a large flat screen TV that's not a smart TV or whatever, and just plug that in, now you have a smart TV, you save money on buying a $500 TV, and you also save money on an $88 per month cable bill, which, by the way, a lot of us in my generation, we no longer use cable, but a lot of folks out there actually do. I have my uncle, which he loves cable for some reason, and he pays around $90 a month for cable. So these people, they still do exist out there, okay? So that's the whole idea. I don't understand why, but you don't need it. And that's why these products actually save you money. Now, how much money is going to save you over 20 years? The answer is going to be around a whopping $62,000, because you get to invest $500 that you would have, for example, in a TV, and you also get to invest that money that you would have spent on cable every single month just in having, for example, a Fire Stick. By the way, Fire Sticks actually have, for example, application that get you all the free channels in your area just using internet and so on. And there's actually applications out there that actually get you, for example, free movies and so on, which are legal, by the way, but people also use it for illegal services to actually get everything available there. But that's not this type of genre video. I'm not going to do that on my channel, okay? Look it up somewhere else on YouTube. Now, number 3 is going to be a water filter. Now, you have 2 types. Well, you have 3 types, okay? You have, for example, a personal water filter. We can actually get, for example, a personal bottle. You filled it up with tap water. When you drink it, it actually filters in and you actually are solid. And you also have, for example, the ones you actually put into your fridge, and it's like still like a little like water jug, but it's a lot bigger. You fill it up with tap water, but it's like drinking water. Whatever you want water, you fill up your cups, okay? And then you have the third level, which is basically you put it under your plumage and you actually get filter water whenever you take water out of your faucet, you know? That's the higher level, and those go for around 420 bucks, maybe a little less expensive, maybe a little bit more expensive. But overall, the average person is spending around $288 every single year on water. Now, this also means plastic, which is not good for the environment. Now, it's not a save the planet video, but it just happens to be that doing this also helps the planet. Now, on top of that, you also save money, because if you're doing your own water, you get unlimited water for 6 months to 12 months when you have to replace the filters, obviously. And then, guess what? My favorite part about this is, I remember living in a 2-story apartment. Not like I had 2 stories, but I was actually on the 2nd story, all right? And every time I went to Costco, I had to get water. And it was like the water bottles. And every time I had to bring those things up there, I was like, this is insane. I'm not doing it. And then I just basically bought me like the fridge water bottle, big one. You know, you can find this on Amazon. Brita is my favorite brand, so that's Brita. Now, if you actually don't trust this type of stuff, that's fine. You don't have to trust it, but actually just get, for example, a water testing slip thing, okay? They actually sell it on Amazon too. It's like this little like slip thing, and you actually test the water to see if it's actually safe to actually drink. If it says safe, and you don't like the taste, doesn't matter. Like, it's safe to actually drink. And if it says safe to drink and you just don't trust it, it doesn't matter, because it's safe to drink, all right? So your deposition doesn't matter based on what it actually is, all right? Just saying, because some people are just like too fancy out there. Now, number 4 is going to be a water heater and just old appliances. So this is actually a great way to save money, but it can be a little expensive. For example, it's all based on kilowatt hours. And by the way, I am not an electrician, so you actually want to use a calculator online to see exactly what is the consumption of your current electrical stuff, like for example your fridge and your microwave and maybe your dishwasher, your washer and dryer, also for example your water heater, those things, or maybe even your heater for your house. Okay, those things consume a lot of energy. However, you have a lot more productive ones that are actually out, and they might cost you, for example, like 460 bucks for like a new like water heater, but it actually might save you a lot more money within 2-3 years. All right, and if the math makes sense and it's within warranty, why not buy something that's actually going to save you a lot more money on your electricity bill? It's the equivalent of, for example, buying a much older car where the miles per gallon is like ridiculously low, like you get like 10-12 miles per gallon, when you just buy, for example, a newer or more modern car, I should say, that gets you like 30 miles per gallon, and it actually saves you a bunch of money. Now, I'm not telling you go buy a Tesla because that's just dumb. It's so much money. But I'm telling you, you could actually, instead of buying, for example, a $5,000 old vehicle, you can buy like a $7,000 vehicle that actually has, for example, great mileage. Now, by the way, I'm not saying those are the only price ranges with great mileage vehicles, like miles per gallon. You look it up. You go on Car Guru, you check Facebook Marketplace, you do your research on YouTube, and you actually find the best ones out there. Now, number 5. By the way, this actually happened to me when I was actually looking, when I bought my house, my first house, and I was actually looking, for example, for appliances. I wanted to find energy efficient appliances. That way, every single month, my electricity bill was actually pretty low relative to my neighbors, which had a lot older electrical stuff, okay? Because they actually moved in a long time and their stuff is a lot lower, like older. So it's actually a lot more consumption based, all right? Now, my neighbor, he actually went ahead and he signed up for a 30-year like lease on some solar panels, and he pays like $200-300 like fixed on his electricity bill. And I was like, I wonder how much money he would actually save if he just switched out a bunch of things and actually just save more money on a per month basis instead of actually signing up for such a crazy contract. Now, number 5 is going to be, guys, phone service. All right, now I pay about 40 bucks per month with T-Mobile because I'm actually a part of a line with all my friends. Now it's actually pretty good, but I'm actually going to switch because I'm not in the US right now, so I don't need this service. But when I was in the US, I was paying like around 30 bucks, unlimited everything with Mint Mobile. Now the average person is spending like around $122 a month on a phone bill. I just don't get the reason why you would spend so much money. Now you might say, Tommy, it's unlimited everything, like 4G, all right, or 5G. The answer is it really doesn't matter. It's like having, for example, a buffet of food that you're not gonna finish in the first place. So I don't see the sense in that. So my whole thing is, if I have, for example, the phone, I want it to be a phone I own. So I'm buying phones in cash. And by the way, you can actually find flagship phones for like 250 bucks, like Samsung Galaxies S20s, S21s. Like Samsung has like this whole thing, all right, which is basically it depreciates like crazy, but it also means, which basically means the value goes down by a lot, but it also means, for example, that you can actually buy a great phone for a massive discount. Because, for example, the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, when it came out, it was around $1,400, and they can actually find it on Amazon for like around 250 bucks. The price of a screen replacement on a lot of those phones, okay? So you can actually buy like a solid $1,400 phone for 250 bucks. But for people out there who say, I'm an iPhone guy, which by the way, I like iPhone, but I have no loyalty towards any brand, all right? But if you actually like iPhones, look into an iPhone 10 or an iPhone like 12. You know, you can actually find one for like 300 or 350 instead of trying to buy $1,000 phone. Tommy, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Because you have one of those phones. The answer is yes, but I just bought this phone after 5 years of use with my iPhone XS Max, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. I think it was like 4 years or so. But and it was when I bought it, it was actually used, which is crazy. But this phone I bought it new, yes, but I'm gonna use it for like another 5 years, and then I'll probably resell it and buy something else. But it's like the idea of I'm gonna buy something good, I like, I enjoy, I can afford to pay for in cash. I'm gonna hold on to it for like until it drops dead. That's what I'm gonna do with this phone right here, guys. All right. But thanks for watching this video. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. And by the way, if you're interested to see exactly how much money each of these things are actually going to save you from an investment point of view, check the description down below because I have all those details down there. And it's surprising because it saves you over $100,000 without even thinking about it. So sometimes buying something can save you a lot of money. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. Up here is another banger. Over here is my fake Instagram. As always, long-term team officially out. Peace.